Well, it is the 50th anniversary season for the Sudbury Wolves, and obviously there's been a lot of players that have come here. Hundreds by thousands of players have come through the organization, and today I am joined by a very special one that was only here for about a year and a half, but he made a humongous impact. He was a 2012 OHL team first All-Star. He was also the Eddie Powers Trophy winner for the most points during his time here in Sudbury, a two-time AHL All-Star and 11-year pro hockey veteran playing games in the National and American Hockey League. Pleased to be joined by the one and only Mr. Mike Sgarbossa. Mike, glad to have you on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So obviously, Mike, you have been very busy over the last few weeks. And over the course of your career, you have really made a name for yourself down here in Hershey. Before we get to talking about your Sudbury days, let's talk a bit about your experience in Hershey. How's things going down there this season for you guys?
This year has been really good. First place, I think we are in the league, or maybe we're second now, but things have been going really good. Good for me personally, but good for the team as well. And Hershey's is such a special place to play. It's got a lot of history. It's similar to Sudbury with the history. A lot of guys have been through it. A lot of guys have had good careers here and even in the NHL from here and other places as well. But I mean, the fans always show up. They're always supporting us. And the expectation in Hershey is always to win. Kind of like it's very similar to Sudbury. The fans want the team to win, and they support them when they do. And they let you know when you're not doing that well. And that's kind of the charm of playing here. And for the last 5 years, we've had a good team, but the 2 years we never really got a chance to see how far we could go, which was unfortunate. But this year looks like it's going to be a long run for sure.
No, that's obviously great to hear. And like you said, Hershey has been kind of a winning pedigree in the American Hockey League, one of the most storied franchises, I would say, in professional hockey. Now, you guys are obviously pushing for a playoff spot, much like the Wolves are. You've actually been all over the place when it comes to playing professional hockey. You've had time in the NHL. The most recent one being, of course, the Washington Capitals, being the NHL affiliate for the Hershey Bears. Let's talk a little bit about how you got started in the National Hockey League. You signed an ELC with San Jose back in 2010 before you arrived here in Sudbury. Your rights were then traded to Colorado in 2012, and then you finally got some playing time with the Avalanche, Ducks, Panthers, and the most recent, the Washington Capitals. But you've also been in the American Hockey League quite a bit too. Lake Erie, Norfolk, San Diego, Springfield, Manitoba, and of course, now with Hershey. Over your 11 years of pro hockey, there's been a lot of markets you've been in. I'm sure they've all been equally just as great. What's the experience been like you so far?
It's been a long run. Like, those are a lot of organizations to go through, a lot of teams to experience, places to experience, people to meet. But it's been fun. I mean, it's you want to make it to the NHL and stay there right away. And for me, it just hasn't happened. And it's kind of been a position of mine to always be the extra forward or the guy that gets called up and, has to produce at the American League level and then gets called up whenever there's injuries or, something that needs to be addressed or trades or whatever. So, but for me, it's been a great ride. It's been a good career. I'm not done. I still want to keep going, and I'm still excited to play, and the love of the game is still there. And as long as you have that, you can really do anything that you want with the game. But my times in all the organizations, I've took a little bit from each one of them and learned something. And, they've all taught me, not just as a hockey player, but as a man and as a human being, things here and there. And I'll be grateful for the rest of my life, not just for my hockey career, but for the things that I've learned within these organizations and experienced a lot of very good hockey players and very good people. So it's been a blessing for me, and very excited. But I'm excited for this year to finish and see what the future holds.
Now, let's talk about something that happened actually just a few weeks ago. You guys had your teddy bear toss not that long ago, and I believe you guys set a world record for most bears during a teddy bear toss. Now, a lot of people talking about it because you guys were held scoreless throughout the game, and then with, I think it was like 5 seconds left, fans started throwing teddy bears on the ice. What was that experience like for you, seeing all those teddy bears? I got to imagine that it was almost impossible to skate on the ice.
Well, the experience sucked because we didn't score any goals and we lost the game, so that sucked. But we've done the teddy bear toss. I think we've done it every year that I've been here, and I feel like every year it just they one up themselves from the previous season, and it's a good event. Like I mean, it's always sold out. There's always a lot of energy in the building, and we did have a game where we did score, and it's quite the experience for the guy scoring the goal and the players on the ice. It takes about 45 minutes for them to clean it up. So we didn't really have to wait because we didn't score and it was at the end of the game. So, we just took off the ice. But when we have scored, it takes a while and it's fun. It's fun for everyone. The kids love it. My kids were there throwing the teddy bears on the ice. So it's a fun event for everyone.
No, I love that. And, unfortunately, the Wolves didn't do one this year, but yeah, the teddy bear toss is always a really fun night. And I got to imagine that was pretty great down there in Hershey. Now let's talk about your time in the Ontario Hockey League. Of course, you were drafted by the Barrie Colts, actually in the third round. You went to Barrie for, I believe, a couple seasons. Then you went to Saginaw, and then you were part of the trade that sent you here during the 2010-11 season, if I'm not mistaken. You also came with Frank Schumacher and Alex Racino in exchange for John McFarland and Ben Sherratt. Now, a lot of those players have gone different directions. Ben Sherratt, of course, still in the National Hockey League. John McFarland's actually back in the OHL as a member of the Frontenac's coaching staff. Let's talk about that trade day for you. Obviously, this is a while ago. This was over 10 years ago. Do you still remember getting the phone call saying you were coming to Sudbury, and what was that experience like?
I don't know if I remember the phone call. I don't know if my agent called me or if it was I think it was maybe Trent called me from Sudbury. It was funny because he wanted to know if I'd be playing for him that night. And I always remember that because there was no chance to get there and play because it was such a far ride. But I was excited. When I got to Sudbury, I think they had just sent down Eric Odell came from the I think the American Hockey League, and he was an overager, and we had obviously Marcus Foligno and Mike Lomas and all these and Andre Kuchin and Josh Lebo. So we had a good team. McFadden was there too. They just didn't have a good record. But I think from Christmas on, we had the best record in the league or second best record in the league. And then we ended up making the playoffs as the seventh seed and played Ottawa, and we actually swept them.
Right.
But it was a fun team. It was a great group of players. And for myself, it was something that I had success in Barrie. Obviously, Barrie was going for it when they traded some of the younger players. That seems to happen in the OHL a lot. And then Saginaw, for whatever reason, never really clicked there. And I think they were also trying to go for it too, and they made the decision to go after Sherratt and McFarland, and I was happy to go to Sudbury. And I really didn't know much about Sudbury, to be honest with you. Played there a couple times, but still hold it dear in my heart. And it was a great experience for me. I really enjoyed my time. Obviously, there was success, but other than the success, it was a great experience all around.
No, that's great to hear, and it's always great to hear alumni talk so greatly about Sudbury too, because they have had those struggling seasons during the mid 2010s, but you were obviously a bright spot for the team. And let's talk about your biggest spot. You, of course, during the 2011-12 season had quite the season: 47 goals, 55 assists for 102 points in 66 games, and you're obviously the most recent one to record 100 points. No one else has done it since then. You were the first since the 99-2000 season when Norm Milley and Jason Jaspers both hit over 105 on that season. Obviously, people still have a lot of high regard for you after that season that you had. Did things just really click with the team that you played with that year? Was it the coaching staff? Was it the atmosphere of the rink? What really led you to that key success for that season?
I think I grew a lot as a player. I kind of figured it out. I had a lot of success when I got traded. I remember I think in 36 games, I had a lot of points too when I got traded to Sudbury. So I kind of was on a run there. And then the next season, it basically was kind of handed to me as a team. Like there was a couple leaders and I was going to be part of that leadership group. So the confidence was instilled in me right from the beginning, and I kind of ran with it. And obviously we had a really good team. Like I played with good players. You don't put up points like that and do things like that without good players around you. And that year we weren't first, we weren't set, like we weren't that in high of standing, but we for whatever reason we gelled as a team. And my line, Kuchin and Levo, we really connected well. I think we complemented each other really well. We all had kind of different skill sets that worked well with each other, and our back end was good and our power play was good. So yeah, I think for me personally, it was my confidence. It seemed like I figured it out. I figured out how to play, and kind of use my skill set, but also do it in the right way. And when you don't cheat and you don't do these kind of young mistakes, you can capitalize and you can put up a lot of points. You can be dangerous out on the ice. And it just seemed like every game was an opportunity to score and or to create or do something. And it was one of those years that was special, and people always ask me about it. And for me, I'll always have it. And it's a good memory. It's definitely a good memory for me.
Now you bring up names like, McFadden, Levo, and Kuchin.
Yeah.
Do you still talk to any of those guys from the teams that you had?
You know what? I haven't talked to any. Kuchin, I haven't been able to get a hold of. I tried to get a hold of him a couple times. I've actually asked the guys in the Caps, some of the Russian players, to try and reach out for me, but they haven't been able to get a hold of him. Levo, I've seen a little bit. He's obviously been very successful. He's been in the NHL quite a bit and produced really well in the American League. And Josh McFadden, I haven't talked to since my days there, but my time there, those guys were great players. I mean, you look at their numbers, you look at how they play, you look at their careers, all very successful and good players and good people. So, yeah.
Now, obviously, a big talking point here has been the Wolf on a Wire, and I'm sure you still have recollections to it. When you first arrived in Sudbury, was that one of the first things that caught your eye?
When I first arrived in Sudbury, it was very dark in the rink. It was kind of hard to see that wolf, to be honest with you. But then, yeah, it was. I don't even think I realized it till I think maybe a couple of weeks in, and I saw it going up there, and after we would score, and they would kind of like attack the bench, right? It kind of goes on the string, and it was kind of funny. I think I made a joke or something about it to one of the players, but it was good. That year we got it to do its exercise pretty regularly. So it was all. I remember one time we had it. I don't know whose equipment we put it on, but we put their equipment up on that thing and we cranked it to the middle of the ice, and they were looking for that. It was funny, but it's no, it's one of those unique things only to Sudbury. So it's fun. It's a cool thing. And is it still there?
Oh, it's still there.
Oh.
It's actually almost hit our press box a couple of times.
Okay, I didn't know if they had to update it or do something to it because it was.
They have made some alterations. They gave it red glowing eyes, and now there's a fog machine behind it, which is kind of cool, actually. Yeah,
I know when we had it, it looked like it was on its last legs there, so I thought maybe they'd have to replace it or something. But
no, I think they actually groomed it a little bit and gave it a little bit of makeup, so it's definitely a lot better looking.
That's funny.
So now I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire questions, and just try to give me your best answer possible. Since you're in Hershey, obviously chocolate town, what is your favorite chocolate? Are you a dark chocolate guy, a white chocolate guy,
milk chocolate,
or just a regular milk chocolate? All right.
My wife likes dark chocolate. I can't stand that. I like milk chocolate.
Yeah. No, I can never understand dark chocolate. I really can't.
I think that's for someone that wants to be healthy, but
yeah,
for me, if I'm going to treat myself, I want to go all the way with it.
Are you a Hershey's kind of guy?
Yeah, I got to say yes, right? I think I get in trouble.
Considering where you are, right?
No, I am. They got so many products. When I first got here, they have so many things that I never knew. But there's the chocolate Candyland or whatever it's called, Chocolate World, and you can go there and make your own chocolate bar. So it's pretty fun.
I love that. All right. Favorite place to eat in Sudbury during your time?
You know what? It's funny. I used to go Andre Kuchin used to have me drive him to Western Union, which was a way for him to get money back from his parents.
Right.
And after that, he would take me to Red Lobster.
Really?
We would go, yeah. So we would go as a thank you, right, for driving him. I always drove him all the time. And as a thank you, he would take me to Red Lobster. And I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's the one that I think of the most when I think of Sudbury.
Okay.
The other place was the breakfast place that guys always went to. I can't remember
Probably Jack Steiner, right?
What's it called?
Probably was Jack Steiner, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's still there, believe it or not. So is the Red Lobster.
That was my favorite place to go. But the
Yeah.
one that comes in my mind the most is that Red Lobster. I don't know why, but it's just a funny place to think of.
It's probably the endless shrimp, right?
Yeah.
Now for the Wolves jerseys, which was your favorite, the blue and white or the white and green?
The green.
The green?
I like the green one.
Okay.
I think that was did they always have that one? It was like a special year or something when I was there.
So I remember it was for the 40th anniversary season for you. And then they did have it a couple more times, but they haven't had it back since they redid their jerseys.
Okay.
My buddies from Behind the Bench podcast have been trying to get either the green or the black alternates back.
The green was my favorite. We didn't wear it that much, but that was my favorite one.
Now, what made it so special for you? I got to ask. Just the heritage behind it?
Yeah. The history, the style of it. And that's what I associate that special season with. So something that sticks in my mind.
Okay. Favorite team to play against in the Ontario Hockey League?
Favorite team. I like playing against the Guelph Storm. I grew up there, and I remember my dad always taking me to games. So whenever we got a chance to actually play them, I always had a lot of family and friends there, and I seemed to always play well there. So I liked any place that I played well. Sioux was another one. We played well there in the Sioux.
Yeah, the Sioux has put together some really amazing teams.
Yeah.
Favorite team to play against in the American Hockey League?
Favorite team. The Toronto Marlies, just because again, close to home, classic. And I always seem to get up well for those games. So it's my favorite.
That's awesome. Last question I'll leave you with here. Favorite memory during your time here in Sudbury?
Favorite memory. When we played Ottawa in the playoffs. Their first game we played them in the NHL rink.
That's right.
And I think it went to 3 overtimes. And I think the score was 8-7 or 7-6 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I think I want to say 7 points or 6 points.
Wow.
And Kuchin and my line Kuchin and Levo both had hat tricks. We won that triple overtime. You should look that game back up. I think Odell got kicked out. Eric Odell got kicked out for hitting from behind, and it just was a back and forth game, a very exciting game, but triple overtime, we won that. So that's my favorite memory of playing.
All right. I love that. Now, before I let you go there, Mike, obviously to all the fans that are listening, to this, whether it be on the radio or just on YouTube, do you have any message for the Wolves fans?
Just keep enjoying it and keep doing what you're doing. The team's going to turn it around. And I know from my time there, my family's time there, you guys treated us really well, and something we'll always remember and always have fond memories of Sudbury and think highly of it. And the other memory I had was going down in the mines. That's the other one I wanted to mention. Going down in the mines. I remember that. That was really interesting. But yeah, the message for the fans, just stick with the team and keep supporting them and keep doing what you're doing. It's a great town, and I really enjoyed my time there.
Awesome. Well, Mike, I got to say this was an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on, and best of luck during the rest of the season.
I appreciate it. Thank you.